Hi, this is Tim Rohwer from Rohwer Music Studios, and today we're going to be talking about the new CAPO Youth Program Primer Class resource, which is the Play-Along resource using flat.io. Now, the neat thing about flat.io is because it's a web-based music notation software, it works on pretty much any device that has internet access. So it can work on both PC and Mac as long as there's an internet browser that's compatible. It works on iOS devices, things like iPhones, iPads, and so forth. It works on Android, and flat.io should work on pretty much any device that has an internet connection and an internet browser. We're going to go ahead and talk now about how to use this as a practice resource. Now, this is just kind of a brief overview of the possible features we've got. Here's a picture of what it looks like on the Rohwer Music Studios website. And as you can see down in that bottom left-hand corner, there is the play button, which will let you play back this file. There's also a metronome that if you want to make sure and keep time a little bit easier, you can turn the metronome on. You can give yourself a count-in before the song starts. And this is a feature that I really love. You can actually change the playback speed. So if for some reason it's too fast for you to play right now, you can actually slow it down so that you can play it a little bit easier. Now, this is one thing that I really love as well, is that there's this blue bar here. So you can see that blue bar, and that blue bar shows you where you're at in the score. So that way, if you get lost, you can just look for that blue bar and know right where you are in your part. And on the right-hand side here, you'll see that you can zoom in and you can zoom out. If it's too small for you to read, you can actually make it bigger. And this is another feature that I really appreciate. It is the solo button. So if you want to isolate one part in particular, like if I wanted to just do the intermediate apprentice violin part, I've got this solo button, and I click that solo button, and what it does is it mutes everything except for that part. And in this way, you could practice both just that single part, but also you could add in a couple other parts as well. So if I wanted to, I could solo the intermediate apprentice violin and the apprentice cello part, so I can get a feel for how the two fit together. This is also a great feature here. We've got these volume controls, and so if I wanted to, I can actually listen to the other parts a little bit more, or in this instance, what I've got this set up to do is I've got the intermediate apprentice part at full volume, and for the rest of these parts, I've pulled the volume down so that I can still hear them, but I can follow along just a little bit easier with my part. I could do the opposite. I could make all the parts louder except for the part I'm trying to play so I can see how it fits in a little better. There's lots of different things that you could do to use this in your practice to help you practice more effectively. Now, this is another thing that I really like. Let's say that you're just having trouble with one single spot. What I could do is I could start kind of in the middle, and I've highlighted a note right there, and when I hit the playback button, it'll actually start at that note instead of right from the beginning. So now I want to kind of do a live demonstration of some of these features just to kind of give you an idea of what we can do with them. So once again, I've got this file pulled up, the player for this Pop Goes the Weasel arrangement, pulled up on the Rohwer Music Studios website. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button. And right now I've got the audio turned off so you can hear me better. But after it starts playing, you can see that it follows along with where you're at in the score. All right, I'll go ahead and stop that playback now. Now let's try this with the playback speed a little different. So here's the playback speed, and I'm going to change that to 0.7. And after I play this, you'll see that it's now playing a little bit slower. So if you weren't able to keep up at full speed, you could slow it down. And once again, here's the metronome. And here are the solo, mute, and volume controls for the different parts. And I'm hitting the solo button on just this one part. And now I'm turning down the volume on all the parts except for the one so that I can still hear the other parts, but hear my part better. Now, one of the best ways that I found to learn technology is just to dive in and start using it. So go ahead and play around with these different players, and I will see you guys in our next primer class.